Welcome to another episode of Alberta Stories. I'm your host, Todd Strickland. Today's episode centers on Black business ownership. We live in a society where ownership and power are intertwined. Personal commentary aside on the morality of this societal value, if Black people want to get ahead in this land, we must participate and organize to create avenues of wealth tied to business ownership. What I do know is there are an ample amount of Black people that are creative and innovative. The opportunities to make our dreams a reality is riddled with barriers. The majority of business ownership lies within one demographic, the white male. White men are not the only geniuses of the world, nor are they the only ones with groundbreaking ideas. Yet they are the ones that make decisions around who and how people have access to capital investment into their ideas. Sam Brooks, our next story, set out to change that. His story is read by Royal Harris. Royal has been a mentor and advocate within the Black community. He's worn many hats and consistently works to build skills to support the rise of Black people.
Business ownership and entrepreneurship are important because those are the building blocks that always help to create community and help community evolve and grow. These are the individuals who look around the corner and see dilapidated buildings or empty lots and see opportunities that could be storefronts or staffing agencies or bars or tech owners, but whatever, they see those opportunities and they give hope and they give vision to places that sometimes are void of those things. My biggest hope that people get from the Sam Brooks story is to always look around and look for opportunity, and then believe the only way that happens is you do the work to create it, because at every turn someone's looking for the next opportunity and you should never question if it should be you. Sam Brooks has a special talent for seeing opportunity. In 1981, he started one of the first minority-owned staffing companies in Portland, Brooks Staffing. Then 6 years later, founded the Oregon Association of Minority Entrepreneurs. Even though they didn't see eye to eye on policy, the Ronald Reagan administration appointed him to the National Board for Small Business Development Centers in 1986, making him the first person of color to serve in that position.
39 years old, I was the national chairman for small business in the United States. I was hot. Now I'm still hot, but I'm old. So I'm not the future. I have some ideas. I can tell people about things they're going to go through, but I'm not the future.
Brooks was one of the first people to see the potential in the idea of the Alberta Arts District. He remembers relocating from California to Oregon shortly after finishing his tour of duty in Vietnam. In the late 60s and early 70s, the Alberta neighborhood was mostly populated by German and Scandinavian families. When Black families started migrating into the neighborhood in large numbers, in large part due to the displacement caused by the building of the Interstate 5 freeway, the Memorial Coliseum, and the Lloyd Center, Brooks remembers the German and Scandinavian-owned businesses losing interest in their newfound community. Years later, neglect, indifference, and even hostility from the business owners who remained, as well as the city of Portland, led to an Alberta known mostly for drugs and crime, one that even some community members avoided at all costs. It also presented Brooks an opportunity in the form of the property that he would eventually purchase to launch Owami.
People who own property, and people said, we really don't want to have anything to do with it.
At the time, the building was owned by the Portland Development Commission and U.S. West Communications. According to Brooks, the building was full of open walls and concrete floors. From the outside, all people could see were the trucks and 7-foot-high gates that formed a secure perimeter around the entire property. Seeing the opportunity, he approached the PDC and made a proposal.
There was a Latino guy who was the head of economic development at PDC. And I told him, I said, I believe this is a natural corridor. And every city you go to, there is something that where you know inclusiveness is the theme around it. If you go to New York, you go to Chicago, they're all themes around inclusiveness.
From there, Brooks began his work on Project Alberta. His goal was to set up a trust for minorities, women, and small businesses. The Project Alberta assessment process lasted from 1990 to 1991 and consisted of a study done in conjunction with the PDC. People who participated included students from the University of Oregon Architecture School and various representatives from the governor's, mayor's, and county chair's office. Ultimately, the city and county approved of the trust, but the PDC, who would have been in charge of the development, did not. Nonetheless, Brooks was able to secure $500,000 from the Federal Office of Community Development and launch the trust.
Minorities don't own very much. Women, small businesses. And most of the time when people get something developed, and this happens many, many times, it gets taken from them. Because what happens is you get in and you don't know how to manage it, and somebody comes in, people have spent money helping you develop it, and they come in and buy it for a song from you, and then you're gone and they develop it. What we wanted to do was to develop the property with lots of small women and minority businesses, but it was actually until it was paid off, owned by the trust. So if you got in and somebody came to you, say, and gave you some money to get in, and then they wanted to buy you out for a little nut because you got in trouble trying to run your business, well, it wouldn't go to you, it comes back to the trust. So until it got bought out, it would remain with the trust, so we would eventually grow businesses, women, minority, emerging small businesses along the Alberta coast. That was the plan.
While Brooks was successful in setting up the trust and correctly predicting the potential of the Alberta Arts District, he wasn't able to stop the tidal wave of gentrification that evicted or priced out countless black families and shuttered the majority of black businesses that once populated Alberta.
You play the hand you're dealt, not the one you'd like to have. That's the problem you have. So the hand you've been dealt on Alberta is the arts community saw the idea and said, yes, this is a great corridor. And they come in and they start buying things. Well, I can't fault that. That's what we said. It's a great corridor. You should be doing it. Now that they've done it, can't take that back.
Despite all that's transpired, Owami persists on. In 2016, the organization's micro-lending program was ranked 6th nationally by the Small Business Administration. For Brooks, it's about inspiring the next generation.
I want people to be able to have hope. Young people coming along, whether you happen to be minorities or non-minority, but knowing that if you work hard enough on an issue, you can actually make it work. That's what Alberta means to me. You can get it done. May not go your way, may not be as fast as you want it to go, but you can get it done. And I'm pretty happy. I'm unhappy that what we wanted to do with that corridor, there are many paths to get to the same end. And so maybe we're still on a path, because it's going to be the next generation that makes the decision. Opportunities present themselves every day. Be ready to take advantage of them.
This podcast has been brought to you by Diversa in partnership with Alberta Main Street, X-Ray FM, and the Numbers.fm. Diversa creates new worlds to bring forth a larger truth. For more information, go to diversaedu.com.